Good afternoon, folks. Welcome to another episode of Trout Spankins. On today's episode, I'm going to be showing you how to tie a double uni knot and a double uni knot for the purpose of connecting braid to monofilament line. The uni knot is a universal knot that I use pretty much for everything, whether it's 4-pound line for trout or 50-pound line for big striped bass. I use the uni knot for everything, especially when I'm tying braided line to monofilament. I always use a double uni knot. In some cases, I'll use a double uni knot if the braided line is very thin. 5 to 8 pound test, sometimes it can be very flimsy and very hard to work with, so I'll use a double uni knot, which I'll show you afterwards. It makes the knot a little bit stronger, and it makes the line a little bit easier to work with when you're using that really thin braid. The reason I use a uni knot on everything is because for me it's the easiest knot to tie, and in my opinion it's the strongest knot that you can tie, in my opinion. I've bank flipped 5-pound bass with 20-pound braid to 15-pound mono connected with a double uni knot, and it did not break. I've had the rod break before the knot broke. I'll link videos to both those scenarios down below in the description. Okay, now, real quick before I show you how to tie the braid to mono, double uni knot, let me just show you how to tie a regular uni knot, just in case anyone has never tied one before. Now, let's just say I'm going to tie this big old striper jig onto this 50-pound mono. Now I'm using 65-pound braid and 50-pound mono just for the sake of the video to make it easier for you guys to see. I bring the line through the hole in the jig. I take the tag end and I make a loop. Now I'm going to take that loop and line it up alongside the main line. I'm going to take the tag end and I'm going to loop it through the main line and the bottom of the loop. How many times I do that will depend on the pound line that I'm using. The heavier it is, the less loops I'm going to make. This is 50 pounds, so I'm going to make 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. I'm going to pull these lines taut, tater tot. I'm going to bring it down to the jig. Pull it tight. I'm going to pull on the tag end. Use pliers to do it if you don't want to use your teeth. I usually use my teeth, but you guys won't be able to see it if I'm using my teeth, so I'm going to use pliers. And just pull it down all the way with your fingers. Boom. Got yourself a uni knot. Cut the tag end off. You got your uni knot. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to do the double uni knot. Okay, so you're going to want to start off with your braid and your mono. You're going to want to overlap them with the monofilament in the back and the braid in the front. So you're going to want to have the braid facing you and the mono away from you. Now you're going to want to start off by taking your braid and making an underhanded loop. Now you want the braid to be in front of the mono, so the braid's facing you, and you want the loop to be on the bottom like this. And you want your tag end to be straight up in the air like this. All right, now when you make your loop, you're going to want to go towards the main line of your mono. So you're going to want to wrap it this way. 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I only gave this 5 wraps because it's thick line. Okay, now you're going to want to pull on the braid from your tag end and from your main line to tighten it. Now you may have to pull some of the slack in the knot out and then pull it tight again, and if the loops start crossing over each other, you want the loops to stay even. So just pull it back out, then pull it tight again until you get it down to a little smaller knot. Okay. All right. So I've got the knot in my braid. Now I'm going to want to do the same thing going the opposite way with the mono. I'm going to want the mono in front facing me and the braid in the back. I'm going to make an underhanded loop once again, this time with the mono. Make it so that the loop is on the bottom, the tag is on the top, the braid is in the back. And this time, I'm going to want to wrap the tag end of the mono towards the main line of the braid. So the mono is a little thicker, so I'm going to make less wraps. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. Now, just like with the braid, I'm going to want to pull on the tag end of the mono and the main line of the mono and get it down tight. It's a little easier to do that without crossing the loops. It's a little easier with the mono. So now I've got my knot in the mono, and I've got my knot with the braid. I'm going to want to grab the main line of the mono and the main line of the braid and pull on those to get those two knots close together. And right before those two knots touch, I'm going to want to stop. See that? I stopped. Okay, now before you tighten these two knots, you're going to want to wet the line just to ease any friction so you don't break it. If I'm out on the water, I'm just going to use saliva. I'm going to put this knot in my mouth and wet it with saliva. For the sake of the video, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to use water in a coffee mug. Okay, so you wet your knot. There we go. Got the knot nice and wet. Now, I'm going to do the monofilament first. So, I'm going to want to grab the main line of the mono and the tag line of the mono. And I'm going to want to pull it and tighten that knot up a little bit. I'm going to want to do the same thing with the braid now. Take the tag end of the braid and the main line of the braid and tighten it. All right. Now, the last step is you're going to want to take the main line of the mono and the main line of the braid and pull those against each other. And you'll see those two tag ends will pop out. That's how you know the knot's done. So now, you take your scissors, you cut the tag end off of the mono, cut your tag end off the braid, and boom, you've got yourself a double uni knot. And there you have your double uni knot. Not the best one I've ever tied, but it's not the worst one either. This will not break. This is a strong knot. This line will not break. That is a strong knot. All right, so next we're going to tie the double uni knot. Now, same concept as before. Double up the line over itself or cross it. Except this time, you're going to want to take your braid and you're going to want to double it up. You're going to want to fold it in half. So, the easiest way to do this is once again to wet it. Normally, I'd just use saliva, but for you guys, I will use the water. Got the line doubled up and wet. Do the same thing. Braid in front of the mono always. I'm going to want to do the same underhanded loop. And once again, I'm going to want to wrap towards the main line. Wrap back towards the main line of the monofilament. Now pull that knot tight. Now this is going to be a little harder to keep even, so you might have to pull the slack out a little bit more to keep the knot uniform. You just want to make sure that those loops don't cross over each other when you're tightening the knot. Otherwise, the knot isn't going to be any good. Okay. Fair enough. Now, same principle as before. You want to take your monofilament, make an underhanded loop. Once again, this time you're going to want the monofilament in the front, the braid in the back, loop on bottom, tag on top, and you're going to wrap the mono back towards the braid. Alright. Now pull that one tight using the main line of the mono and the tag end of the mono. And you've got your other knot. Now, when you're tightening the braid knot, you want to pull on both of these tag ends and both of these doubled up sections of braid, because if you just pull on one, it's not going to tighten the knot. All right, now you're going to want to take your two braid main lines and your mono main line and pull those closer to each other. Make sure that you're pulling on both strands of your braid. Stop it right before they touch. Same as the double uni knot. Once again, before you tighten these knots, you're going to want to wet the line. Whether you want to use spit or use water, it's up to you. I just put it in my mouth and wet it. All right, so we've got the knot wet. Now I'm going to take both of these tag ends of the braid and both of these main lines of the braid, and I'm going to tighten those. Got this knot secured. Now I'm going to want to do the same with the mono. Take the main line of the mono, the tag end of the mono, make sure it's nice and wet, pull that one tight. Now you're ready to pull those two knots together. So when you pull these two knots together, once again, you're going to want to make sure that you're pulling on both of these main lines for the braid and the main line for your mono. All right. Now you'll see once that knot got tight, this monofilament tag popped right out. That's how you know it's good. All right, looks pretty good to me. Okay guys, now one thing to keep in mind when you're cutting these tags is you're gonna have a lot more tag ends with the double uni knot than you had with the double uni knot. You're gonna have two tag ends down here for the braid. Up at the top, you're gonna have one tag end for your mono and one tag end for your braid. And you're going to want to be careful to cut the right line. You don't want to cut the main line for your braid. Otherwise, you're going to have to do the whole thing over again. So, start down here. You're going to take your tag end for the braid. You can see it's a loop. If you pull it apart, it forms a loop. You're going to want to cut that loop off. Boom. As you'll see, two tag ends down at the bottom. Now for the top of the knot, you're going to have your monofilament tag. Cut that first to get it out of the way. Now you're going to want to figure out which one of these is your main line and which one is your tag line. So pull them apart. You can see this one goes up to nothing. Separate it. Cut it off. There you have your double uni knot. Now this knot is obviously stronger than the regular uni knot. There's actually videos where they test the two and actually show you, sorry about the clip on the hat, videos where they actually show you that this knot is stronger than the double uni knot. I really only use the double uni knot, like I said, if I'm using very thin line, like 5-pound braid going to, 6-pound monofilament, then it just makes the line a little bit easier to work with. If I'm using anything from 10-pound braid to, 15-pound mono or fluorocarbon or heavier, I'm just going to use the double uni knot because it's easier. And it's just as strong in my opinion, but the double is a little bit stronger. There you have your double uni knot. See, you've got the two tag ends. I don't know if you can see that. You've got two tag ends on the bottom of the knot heading to the monofilament leader. And you've got a monofilament tag and a braid tag at the top going to your braided main line. Anyways, there you have it. The double uni knot and the double uni knot. Alright you guys, well thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the episode. I hope you learned something. If you did, please hit the like button and subscribe. Leave a comment down below letting me know what you did or what you didn't like about the video. I'm not the greatest teacher on earth. I'm not that great at explaining things, but I'll try my best to give you whatever information or knowledge it is that I have. So that's how I tie the double uni knot and the double uni knot. Again, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please hit the like button, subscribe, and I hope to see you on the next one. Keep on spanking them.